Don't forget that as people were panic selling yesterday, of course it was the largest liquidation event in crypto history. You know, as they're panic selling yesterday, in addition to levered positions just getting completely devastated, they're just driving the price of XRP down. Because there were some people that were panic selling, there's no question about that, even though this was primarily a leverage type of move. Which is why it's the major liquidation things cascade on down. But the panic sellers weren't exactly helping. And you know what? There was someone on the other side of that bet. Anytime the price of XRP is going down and you're selling it, you should ask yourself who is buying it from you. And why that person, you should ask, why is that person making that purchase as you think that you're so wise as to sell based on emotion? Because you are doing just that, right? You're selling out of fear, but the person buying from you believes you're wrong. They believe that the price of XRP will ultimately go up, and frankly, given a long enough time horizon, the buyer will certainly be proven correct. So I wanted to spend a little bit of time, since I know people are still trying to get their heads right. Just talking big picture, like what's the right mindset for the space? And I also want to share some of this article. This is from Cointelegraph. Crypto.com CEO calls for probe into exchanges after $20 billion liquidations. So this guy thinks there were some shenanigans going on yesterday. But before going further, I do want to be clear. I do not have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice. And you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. Alright? And I don't know if the price is going to be even lower by the time you're watching this. XRP is $2.33 right now. I think the most violent action that we were going to see it happen yesterday doesn't mean for sure that you can't see some additional downward price action before things finally start reliably trending to the upside. But we're going to get there, of course, and so there's this post from Dom Kwok, and he is the co-founder of Ease, building on top of the XRP ledger. And this guy's smart. That's for damn sure. He's got experience in finance. In fact, he used to work at Blackstone, and he used to work at Goldman Sachs. He's worth listening to here. And when I was talking at the outset of the video about how there's always somebody on the other side of this bet, there are people who days ago were not ready to sell XRP. They're thinking it's going to go higher. They wanted to sell at a higher price, but instead, the price went down, and that's when they sold. And Dom here is purchasing from such people. He wrote, "Just bought $10,000 worth of XRP myself on the way to the gym." So at the time, an XRP was 2.44 at the time, and we're down a little bit from when he purchased it. He's just publicly sharing this. This is in general the right mindset. I'm not advising you listening to this to do anything. I don't know on an individual level what's right for any individual person, but I do have my own opinions about what the right mental state is and the right general approach. And that's what I'm sharing in this video. Just a general mindset when it comes to investing in crypto, because this stuff happens. And again, whoever was fearfully selling, you know who was on the other side of that bet for them? This guy, courageously purchasing, because he firmly believes that this is going way higher. This is just a pit stop. And this has been happening for over a decade now with XRP. It's just a much higher price level than it was back in the day. But yeah, we used to have all sorts of events. I mean, I remember buying XRP at 55 cents. And even then, I saw that XRP become worth way, way less. It dropped to 10 cents after that for a short period of time. It wasn't the end of the world because then, as you know, July of this year, XRP ran at $3.65. So which side of the bet do you want to be on? And here's another post from Dom. And this really gets to proper mindset, which is why I wanted to share this given the current state of things. But he said, "Yesterday's crash is a good reminder of a few important things. Number one, don't use leverage. When markets go up, it's tempting to use leverage to enhance your gains. But leverage will get you stopped out of positions and blow up your account fast as soon as the market goes against you. If you don't use leverage, you can hold through drawdowns, no matter how big. If you're a long-term investor, don't use leverage." And folks, and he's right about that, I think using leverage is the stupidest damn thing for the average person. And every single time we've had an event like this, there are people insisting it's the end of the world. It's the end of the world and we're entering a new bear market, and it's going to go on forever basically. It's going to take a decade to climb out of this. You see those types of comments. That is not the case here. He says, number two, have conviction. And I think that he evidenced that he has conviction because he just spent $10,000 on more XRP. And he says, if you started doubting any of your positions yesterday, or considered selling, you might want to reconsider your holdings. If you look at any of history's top-performing assets from Bitcoin to Nvidia, they all had huge drawdowns before going much higher. Okay, that is spot on. Just because something goes down, it doesn't mean it won't eventually be worth way more in the future. That's the history of crypto. More and more people and businesses and institutions are going to increase investments in this space as years and decades pass. So if you're focused on the short term and panicking here, that's the wrong mindset in my humble opinion. Number 3, focus on the long term. Prices go up and down every day, but if you are an investor, you should be focused on months and years. So long as the overall trend remains up and the fundamentals remain strong, that's what matters. Okay, spot on. In fact, XRP has never had stronger fundamentals at any point in history. This is the strongest that XRP has ever been. And now, of course, it's subject to moving in terms of volatility up or down with the rest of the market. And we saw that yesterday. That doesn't change the fact that XRP has ridiculously strong fundamentals, and it's one of the most useful cryptocurrencies that's ever been created. Number 4, remember what really matters. Your health, family, and friends are ultimately what really matter versus numbers on a screen. Work out, go outside and have fun. Take some time away from the screens. And before you know it, we'll be on our way to new highs. Yeah, and I agree with that as well. If you're having trouble in particular, go away from screens. I don't get emotionally beaten down by the stuff, so I don't feel like I need to step away. I feel like I have an appropriate balance in life in general with how much I'm engaging in crypto-related activities. But yeah, if you're having a hard time with it, it's okay. Just walk away. Come back later. The market's going to go up at some point in the future, even if we don't know for sure when, but it sure as hell is coming. But it does make you wonder what the hell happened. So the headline here, Crypto.com. CEO calls for a probe into exchanges after $20 billion liquidations. That's wild stuff. Crypto.com, CEO Chris Marszalek has called for a regulatory investigation into exchanges that suffered the largest losses following a record $20 billion in crypto liquidations over the past 24 hours. In a Saturday post on X, Marszalek urged regulators to conduct a thorough review of fairness of practices, asking whether trading platforms had slowed down mispriced assets or failed to maintain proper anti-manipulation and compliance controls during the crash. Okay, I'm not going to make any claims on that front and any of those topics, but I will tell you that I saw on X multiple people claiming that exactly those things happened to them. Weird mispriced assets and wild swings on various exchanges. Exchange is not just slowing down, but straight up not working, period. So if you wanted to sell, if you're one of those people that wanted to panic sell, some of you actually couldn't because you couldn't log into your damn exchange. But that stuff shouldn't happen. Even though I think it's silly to panic sell, you should have the right to do that. You should have the technological ability to do that. It's crazy that that stuff was happening in 2017, and no one has fixed it still. During high-volume events like this, all of them still crash. It's just absolutely wild. Anyway, regulators should look into the exchanges that had most liquidations in the last 24 hours, he wrote. Any of them slowing down to a halt, effectively not allowing people to trade? Were all trades priced correctly and in line with indexes? Data from CoinGlass shows that Hyperliquid led all exchanges in liquidations, recording $10.31 billion in wiped positions. It was followed by Bybit with $4.65 billion and Binance with $2.41 billion. Other major platforms like OKEx, HTX, and Gate saw smaller totals at $1.21 billion, $362.5 million, and $264.5 million respectively. So it does kind of make you wonder, and I saw claims from people that I think they were just being genuine and fair enough complaints. So, I'm with him actually. Frankly, look into this stuff. A lot of this stuff should not be happening in 2025. It's completely ridiculous. It's silly we had a liquidation event, like of this scale, because there's so many people being idiots to explain with leverage. And it is ridiculous here.